We're going to start on page 85, Parshat Lecha, and because I'm not going to be here for the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to just summarize some of this. Some of it I'll read inside.
So you won't be a couple of weeks. So I'm sure we should be here for 2 hours at least.
If you'll pack my bags, yeah. So, להתגבר על השפעות הסביבה. That means to overcome, to be stronger than the surrounding. Sviva means your surroundings, your social circles, and so on, your environment. And so to overcome the influences of your environment, right? And it's Vayomer Hashem el Avraham. Hashem says to Avraham, notice at this point his name is still Avraham. It's not yet Abraham. It's only after the circumcision it becomes Avraham. So Hashem says to Avraham, Lech lecha mi'artzecha, go from your land, from your birthplace, from the house of your father, el ha'aretz asher hareka, to the land which I will show you. Now, Lech lecha, normally you would just say Lech, go. What does it mean, Lech lecha? Right, lecha, literally, Lech, go, lecha, to yourself, right? So that's what he's going to talk about a little bit. הפעם הראשונה שהשם דיבר אל אברהם היא בעצם נקודת ההתחלה של עם ישראל. The first time that Hashem speaks to Abraham is basically the starting point of the Jewish nation. מהו הדבר הראשון שאמר השם ליהודי הראשון? So what's the first thing that God says to the first Jew? הדבר הראשון שיהודי צריך ללמוד הוא Lech Lecha. The first thing that a Jew needs to learn is Lech Lecha. Lech el atzmacha. Go into yourself. Don't forget to come out, but go into yourself. Okay? Hazohar HaKadosh Omer, the Holy Zohar says, Lech Lecha litakna galmach, which means litaken et atzmacha. Go into yourself to fix yourself. It's not enough to just do good in the world. We have to fix our souls. Now, don't jump to conclusions as to what that means to fix your soul. Okay? One day, we'll talk about that sometime. Ever since the Baal Shem Tov, this is what the Baal Shem Tov was teaching us. This is our role, our purpose in the world. In other words, we've come here, basically in simple words, to fix your soul. But every neshama has to fulfill and complete all the mitzvot of the Torah. If you didn't do it, the first time around, the neshama has to come back. Now, Reb Shlomo said we don't think that, oh, you're just going to keep on coming back. Like, I'll party and I'll come back another time, then I'll party some more and I'll come back another time and finish that later. There's only a certain amount of times that the neshama gets to come back. I think he said 3 times. So, and since you don't know whether you're here for the first time or the second time, or this might be the 3rd time, so then you better fix it now. Okay? So the Baal Shem Tov, really put a lot of emphasis on the fact that we have to fix our souls. So how do you know what I'm supposed to? How do you know what you're supposed to fix? So if you have a Rebbe, a real, tzaddik Hasidic Rebbe, so that's usually what a Chassid would trust his Rebbe with. He would trust his Rebbe to give him the guidance, telling him what he needs to fix. The Karliner said that usually a good indication of what you need to fix is that mitzvah which you have the hardest time with. In other words, a mitzvah that is just easy for you is probably not that your soul came to fix. But let's say, for example, it's hard for you to probably need to fix that. It's hard for you to put on tefillin, whatever, keep kosher or Shabbos or not to talk Lashon Hara, whatever it is, usually the harder something is, that's usually the indication that this is what I really need to do in this lifetime.
I have found that as I'm getting older.
You're not getting older, but anyway, go on.
Things which I found difficult when I was younger are no longer difficult now.
Yeah, that's true.
Does that mean I fixed everything up? And
not necessarily. I gave a general teaching. I don't have X-ray vision to look into your neshama and tell you that, But certain things we are no longer a challenge because we've gotten older, we've gotten wiser, And the same thing that 10 years ago was like a big attraction, and all of a sudden now you say, can't even believe that I was ever attracted to this.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So that sounds like, so you have to, you need to think about this, and it's not an easy thing to say, oh, it's this, it's that, it's that. You'll see. So he says, Ubifrat v'yamenu, we're in the second line of the second paragraph. Ubifrat v'yamenu, especially in our times. Rega lifnei she'Mashiach ba, which is just a moment. We're living in a time that's just a moment before Mashiach's arrival. Ani mukhrach lavi tikun linishmati. I must fix my soul. Olai ani oseh hakol nachon. Maybe I'm doing everything right. Aval kol od lo tikanti et haneshama sheli, but so long as I haven't fixed my soul, ani adayin shavur. I'm still broken. Ve'eni menucha, and I don't have comfort or tranquility. Lachen Hashem omer l'Avraham Avinu. That's why Hashem says to Avraham Avinu, Lech Lecha, Lech el atzmecha, go into yourself, litaken et atzmecha, and fix yourself.
We have to remember, Abraham was 75 years old.
You were 75 years old at the time. That's right. So, Eich ani mitaken et atzmi. So how do I fix myself? תחילה עליי להיגמל מכל ההרגלים הרעים שסובבים אותי. The first thing is I have to get rid of, I have to shake off all the habits, all the bad habits that are surrounding me. So what Reb Shlomo just did now over here is, if you remember, the opening title over here was to overcome your surrounding, the influences of the environment, of the surround, right? Well, the surround doesn't necessarily mean only the society that you're living in. Your surround, your environment could also be, and not only could, but is, also your habits, right? There are certain things that you just sort of like do out of habit and without thinking about it anymore. And if you have some bad habits, that's also your environment, so to speak, and you have to stop that. The Rambam says, "Shasviva sheba adam nimtza," that the surroundings that a person finds himself in, hi mikor hashpa'ah hachi gedola alav. That is the source of the greatest influence on you. That's what influences you the most. And the fact is that you notice yourself. You hang around with a certain group of people, you behave one way. You hang around with a different group of people, you're likely to behave differently, right?
That's true.
And that's because everybody's always looking for acceptance in the eyes of the people that they're with, right? So it's very important to make sure that you go to that you spend your time in a community or in a surrounding which is going to support your fixing yourself. Okay, very often, if not always, like a Baal Tshuva, very often has to end up changing his circle of friends because the people that you grew up with, like they think you're crazy that you all of a sudden you're not going to eat ham sandwiches anymore. What's the matter with you? Like, now you're not going to work on Shabbat. Like, what's the matter with you? Like, So very often the Baal Tshuva has to change his circle of friends because in general, people don't like things around them to change. You don't like to wake up in the morning and find that the couch is not over here, it's over there, and the table is not over here, it's over there. You don't want somebody in your house changing the furniture every day, right? So people don't like their friends to change too much because then they have all kinds of issues with that. Are you all of a sudden becoming more religious than us? Are you this? Are you that? Are you that? But it's also true within your own self. If you want to make a change, positive change, let's say, right? The old habits are the environment in which you are making that change. And they're going to kick up a storm. Like, what do you mean we're getting up at 6:30 in the morning? We sleep till 8. Right? We don't get up at 6:30 in the morning. Show them. Go back to sleep. Right? Okay. So that's the environment, and that's part of the environment. What do you mean? We're now going to start going to a shiur every week. Like, no. What's going to be with my television? What's going to be with this? What's going to be with that? Right? So first of all, like the Rambam says, you got to know that the biggest influence on you is the surrounding. Hayom ze davar yadua. Today, everybody knows this. Shasviva hi hamachanech hagadol biyoter. That the surroundings are the biggest educating force that influences the development of a student. The Rambam says, Avram Avinu hityached b'kach. What made Avram Avinu unique, right? The word hityached is the case of what made him from the word yachid. What made him unique is that shehu mamash hitgaber al kol hashpaot hasviva, is that he mamish overcame all the influences of his surroundings. L'mashal, for example, אם אני גר בברוקלין, אינני יכול לומר שאני נוהג בניגוד לסביבה. Let's say I'm living in Brooklyn and you're a religious Jew, so you're not acting against the surroundings. כי כבר יש שם סביבה יהודית. If you're living as a religious Jew in Brooklyn, so you're not working against the environment. There's already there. There already is a religious environment there. אם אני גר בירושלים והולך בשבת לכותל, if I live in Yerushalayim and I go to the Kotel on Shabbat, אינני הולך נגד הסביבה, I'm not going against the environment, Ki Baruch Hashem, yesh הרבה יהודים שמתפללים בכותל, because thank God there are any Jews that daven at the kotel. אבל Avraham Avinu mamash halach neged hasviva, but Avraham Avinu, he mamish went against his environment. Right? And that's one of the explanations why he's called Avraham HaIvri. From the word Ivri from the Eber, meaning from the other side. He had the guts to go walk on the other side of the street. The whole world is, everybody's walking on this side of the street. They're saying that there are many gods. Now Avraham Avinu says, no, it's not true. And he had the guts to go and live on the other side of the street, even though that meant that they were going to persecute him, that they would try to kill him. And they did all that. Right? So Ki Baruch Hashem, second last line of that paragraph, Ki Baruch Hashem, yesh הרבה יהודים שמתפללים בכותל. Thank God there are a lot of Jews that are praying at the kotel. אבל אברהם אבינו ממש הלך נגד הסביבה. But Abraham, our father, he really went against the environment that he was living in. זהו הקדושה של עם ישראל. This is the holiness of the Jewish people. וגם ההסבר לעובדה שאנחנו עדיין קיימים היום. This is also the explanation that explains the fact that we're still in existence. מפני שעמוק בתוכנו, because deep inside us, יש לנו הגבורה והמופלאה הזו, we have this amazing strength, לעמוד בפני הסביבה, to stand up to the environment. גם אם כל העולם עושה דבר אחד, אני מסוגל לעשות דבר אחר. Even if the whole world is doing one particular thing, I'm capable of doing something altogether different. Right? And that's, by the way, one of the reasons that anti-Semites don't like Jews. Because we have this ability to be different. It's like that children's story. I don't know what they call it in Czech, the ugly duckling. You know that story about this duckling ends up with a family of birds, with a family of ducks, and everybody's looking at it like, what's wrong with you? You don't look like everybody else. What's wrong with you? You don't look like everybody else. And they keep on telling him, you're so ugly. And finally, one day he discovers that he's actually not a duck, he's a goose. And that he was just in the wrong environment. Now, the halacha, the Rambam, I don't remember where this is, but the Rambam also writes that let's say you're living in a community which is a bad community, like this crime going on and so on. He says that you're not allowed to live there. You got to pick up and move, because it will influence your children, and it will influence you. So we, at the same time that we recognize the power of the environment, right? The environment has a lot of power on you, right? So at the same time, on the one hand, you have to recognize that as a reality, and you have to choose a good environment to be in. On the other hand, you got to know that Lech, Lecha. It's not enough to just say, well, I belong to this community or the else. I'm doing everything good, so everything is just fine. Yeah, that's wonderful. But is that what you're supposed to be doing? Are you doing as much as you're supposed to be doing? Right? And that's the big question. And, you ever hang around with a workaholic? Some people work. Most people don't like them, like all the time, going. But what Reb Shlomo is saying is that spiritually, you have to keep on going all the time. There is no such thing as just staying. and hovering on one level. Doesn't work. You're either going up or you're going down. Right? Okay. So now if you look back at the verse at the top of the page, right, at the very top of the page, after the title, so you see that it says, Hashem says to Abraham, Lech lecha me'artzecha, leave your land, leave your moladetcha, your birthplace, and the Beit Avicha, the house of your father. Now, if you're going, when you came here this afternoon, right, what did you leave first? Your country, and then your birthplace, and then your house? No, you left your house first, right? So why is it in this order? Leave your land, leave your birthplace, and leave your family, your father's house. It's the normal thing is will be just the opposite, the other way around. First you leave your father's house, then you leave the birthplace, and then you leave the country, right? I don't know how many times I woke up last night. 5, 6 times. Okay, so what's the pshat? What is the meaning then of this verse? That looks like somebody looking for us out there. The backpack is bigger than him. You know him? Hij zegt het. Okay. So
it was probably the most difficult for Avram to leave his birthplace. He was a choshev yid, and
so, but he wasn't very well liked back then, you know, for being Nimrod threw him into the fire pit and everything.
But he was saved.
Okay,
and,
but
became his friend.
No, he didn't become his friend. They kicked him out.
Out of the country?
Yeah. Him and his whole family. The thing is like this. The thing is like this. Everything that you do, you could trace it either to your father's home, to your birthplace, or to your country. There's certain things that you do because that's you grew up in Czechoslovakia. Certain things that you do because you were born in a certain place. And certain things that you do because of the house that your father's house you grew up in. Which ones are the easiest to change?
The ones that is from your birthplace.
The one first from your country. In other words, when you lived in the United States, again, it's not that the United States had such a big power over you, right? But then when you talk about Muncie or Lakewood, right? Then that already has more of a power over you, right? And then on top of that, the things that you grew up with at home also are like a big part of you. So when it says over here, leave your land, leave your birthplace, leave your father's house, he's going in order of difficulty. In other words, not only do you have to drop the things that you're doing because of the country, you also have to leave the things that you're doing because of the place you grew up in, and even more so, the things that you learned that you picked up in your father's house.
Did God tell him Lech Lecha in Ur Kasdim or in Choron?
In Choron, I think. I put in the last week's parsha.
Looks to me like Quran.
He had already left Ur Kasdim, yeah.
Because from Ur Kasdim, Avram took his whole family with him.
Yeah.
His father
And also from Choron. Well, Terach took the family. Terach is his father. Yeah.
He was going to Eretz Canal.
Okay, page 86. Now, lo lahachmis et harega. That means don't lose the opportunity. Lahachmis is from the word chametz, right?
Which means?
Leaven, Like how does the dough that you make become chametz? You wait, and the dough starts to rise. Understand? That's how it becomes chametz. So lachmitz means to miss an opportunity. Okay, lachmitz et harega, to miss the moment. Vayelech Avram kasher diber elav Hashem. Avram went as Hashem had told him. So it says Reb Shlomo, yesh lanu hegel lo tov. We have a bad habit. אנחנו תמיד מבטיחים להתחיל מחר את מה שקיבלנו על עצמנו היום. We're always promising that we're starting tomorrow. We're gonna start living differently, right? אבל זה דבר נורא, but that's a terrible thing. זה ממש מחריב את העולם. That attitude is literally destroying the world. מה פירוש מחר? What does it mean tomorrow? Mañana. You speak Spanish?
I know that word.
That word you know. You know that word? Mañana. Morgen. Tomorrow. Right?
Yeah, but the second line of that song, Mañana, is good enough for me.
I don't know the song. I just know that, like so he says, not only are you not allowed to push it off till tomorrow, even to push something off by 5 minutes is also considered tomorrow. So therefore all the tzaddikim melamdim, they teach us שהיסוד של חיים יהודיים הוא זריזות. That the foundation of Jewish life is zrizut. In English, zrizut translates alacrity, quick movement, right? Quick movement.
Right,
and this is like, giving me some muscle here, okay? Hashem Omer, right. Hashem Omer Avraham, קח נא את בנך את יחידך אשר אהבת את יצחק. Take your son, that's your only son, the one that you love, and which one? Yitzchak, v'lech techa l'eretz ha-Moriah, go to the land of Moriah, v'alei Hashem lo'olah, and bring him there as a sacrifice. Hashem lo amar madua, God didn't tell him why, or matai, or he didn't tell him when. Avraham haya yachol la'agid, and Avraham said, it says, I'll do what you're asking me to do. אבל לפחות, אבל עם בניי עוד שבת, לפחות עוד חג. But first I want to spend another Shabbos with my family, another holiday with my family. אבל אברהם אבינו יצא כבר למחרת בבוקר. But the truth is that Avraham Avinu went right the next morning, he went on the journey. Didn't wait. Right? Let's go a little bit back. Let's go back to the time that Avraham Avinu was living in Ur Kasdim. המשפחה של אברהם אבינו הייתה עשירה מאוד. Avraham Avinu is coming from a very rich family. חלק גדול מאור kasdim היה בבעלות תרח ואברהם. A big part of Ur Kasdim was owned by Terach and Abraham. ואז השם אומר לאברהם אבינו, and then God says to Avraham Avinu, Lech Lecha mi'artzecha, go from your land. Azov hakol, leave it all behind. Lech mikan, and get out of here. Matai halach Avraham Avinu? When did he go? Mamash l'macharat, literally the next day. Right? So now Reb Shlomo goes into telling a story, which I'm not going to read it inside, but it's basically the story of what happened with the Jews of Spain. But I'm just going to go get myself a coffee because I'm not going to. So maybe you can sing it even in the meantime. You get a different flavor. So in 1492 is when the Spanish Inquisition took place. Familiar with it, yeah? The Jews of Spain were expelled, either convert or get out of here. You know, now Spain is trying to give citizenship. Any Jew that comes there and can show that their family used to be in Spain, you get citizenship right away. They want the Jews back. Good for business, you know. That's what happened in England 3 times. England expelled all the Jews, and then the economy went boom, and they realized that they need us, and they invited us back. So, for sure 2 times, and maybe 3 times in history that it happened in England. Yeah. So, in 1490, and this story, by the way, Reb Shlomo says the Rishner Rebbe used to tell this story. And in 1490, the Jews said, you know what? Israel is under the control of the Sultan of Turkey. Let's go see. Maybe he's willing to sell us Israel. You know, he needs money, real estate. Why not? You know, maybe he'll sell it to us. So they went. They sent a delegation, and the Sultan agreed to sell the land to the Jews. They came back, like really excited, and everything was wonderful. And they started so then they said, okay, good, we'll buy Israel and we'll move to Israel. So then one important person in the community said, wait a minute. You know, we need a sign from heaven that that's what Hashem wants us to do.
Oh, one of these people.
So somebody got up and said, what more sign do you need? You know, the Sultan is willing to sell us the land and we can move back. You need another sign. It's not enough. Anyway, they had a committee. They had this, they had that. And they decided that, okay, we'll wait another year. And then they were going to meet again on Rosh Chodesh Elul in 1492. And that they were going to go then and buy Eretz Yisrael. In the meantime, came Tisha B'Av, 1492, and the expulsion began. Right, and So this is the bottom of page 1 of 87. So he says 4 lines from the bottom. Ze hasipur hachi kasher ba'olam. This is the worst story in the world, right? וזה מזכיר לנו את החיים של כל אחד מאיתנו. But it's not just a story about other people, it's a story about us too. כשאנחנו מסתכלים אחורה, when we look back in our lives, ומבינים כמה הזדמנויות היו לנו לעשות משהו עצום. And we look back and we see how many opportunities we had to do something awesome. והחמצנו, there's the word again, והחמצנו אותן, and we missed them, we delayed them, כי לא פעלנו מיד, because we didn't act right away. זה ממש שובר את הלב, it breaks the heart. פעם שמעתי, page 88, פעם שמעתי מאחד הצדיקים שכשאדם מגיע לשמיים, I once heard from one of the tzaddikim that when a person comes to heaven, מראים לו שני סרטים, they show him 2 movies. בסרט אחד הוא רואה מה הוא היה יכול להיות, one movie they show him is what he could have been, and באחד, and the other movie is מה היה בפועל, what he was in actuality. אם שני הסרטים האלו מתאימים, if these 2 movies are matching, זה גן עדן, it's wonderful, it's heaven. אם אינם מתאימים, if they're not matching, זה גהנם, it's hell. הגיהנום הכי קשה, the worst hell, מפני שהייתי יכול לעשות כל כך הרבה דברים טובים בקלות, because I could have done so many good things easily. מדוע אם כן החמצתי את השעה? Why did I delay the opportunity? אומר עכשיו את הדבר הכואב ביותר שאפשר. I'm going to tell you the most painful thing that I could tell you. תארו לכם איש נרגיש, איך נרגישים כשיבוא משיח, נגלה שאולי היה אפשר להציל את 6 מיליון. Imagine how we are going to feel if when Mashiach comes, if it will be revealed that we could have saved the 6 million. הורים רבים אינם מצליחים להסתדר עם הילדים שלהם. A lot of parents don't manage to get along with their children. אני בטוח שהיו להם בעבר רגעים שהם היו יכולים להסתדר. I'm sure that they had moments where they could have gotten along. אני בטוח שהיו רגעים שהילדים שלהם התחננו. I'm sure that there were moments where their children were begging them, אני רק רוצה לדבר איתך, I just want to speak with you. אבל באותו רגע הם היו צריכים ללכת לפגישה, but at that moment the parents had to go to a meeting, או שהיו עייפים, or they were tired, או שצפו בטלוויזיה, or they were watching television. דבר איתי מחר, speak to me tomorrow. אבל מחר כבר היה מאוחר מדי, but tomorrow was already too late. אז אני מברך אתכם, so I'm blessing you. ותברכו אותי בחזרה, and bless me back. שבכל רגע שהילדים שלנו רוצים אותנו, that at every moment that our children want us, לא נדחה את זה, we're not going to push them up. לעולם לא נדחה את זה, that we're not going to push them up. Now, I don't think that means that you have to let your kids interrupt you whenever they feel like it. But we're talking about, like, you know, when your kid says, you know, Daddy, Mommy, I really want to talk with you, then cancel your appointments and, you know, and do the best that you can. Like, you know, or at least spend a minute or two to get started, you know. Don't just push them off. וזה היסוד של החיים יהודיים. And this is the foundation of Jewish life. כי אברהם אבינו הוא היהודי הראשון. Abraham Avinu is the first Jew. במה התבטא גדולתו המיוחדת של אברהם אבינו? How was his uniqueness, his great uniqueness expressed? אפשר לחשוב שאברהם אבינו היה כל כך גדול כי הוא השיג את השם במדרגה גבוהה מאוד. You might think that Avraham Avinu was so great because he had this super high consciousness of God. אפשר לחשוב שמה שהפך אותו לאברהם אבינו, you might think that what turned him into being our father Abraham, הוא מעשה זה או אחר שלו. it was this deed that he did or that one that he did. Aval, however, Harabi HaKadosh Rabbi Chanoch Henech Alexander Omer, but the Holy Alexander Rebbe says, Shigdulato Shel Avraham Avinu He, the greatness of Avraham Avinu is Shehu His Darez V'Rochika, that he hurried and he didn't delay, he didn't wait. Hu Mamash Lo Chika Latchil Et HaMasah Shelo, he didn't wait to start his journey when God told him Lech Lecha Le'eretz Yisrael, and V'La'Akedah, and he also didn't wait to go to the Akedah. And Hashem said to him, bring Yitzchak as a sacrifice. And Hashem didn't tell him when to do it. He just went ahead and did it right away. Understand? That's so when you have an opportunity to do something positive, the time is right now. Okay? Now, what if you actually can't do it right now? Like, what if you get an inspiration? I got to go right now to the Kotel, right? Well, if it's clear to you that that's like a real serious inspiration, so then pick up and go. But what if you can't actually go right now? Well, do something to start the journey. Understand? So sit down for 1 minute and meditate that I'm going to the Kotel. Or do something to figure out, okay, I might not be able to go right now, but the earliest time I can go is going to be such and such, right? But if you delay, then you're going to delay and delay and delay. Once in yeshiva, this boy comes into class at 10:30 in the morning, and they send him to the principal. It wasn't me. They didn't bother sending me because, never mind. But and he says, "Why didn't you come to daven at 7:30? Why didn't you come to the minyan at 7:30 in the morning? Did you sleep in?" She says, "No, Rabbi. I woke up 7 o'clock. I had every intention to go to be in shul on time. I went, I took a shower, and I started getting dressed. And then all of a sudden, my yetzer hara, my evil inclination comes and starts bothering me. He says, oh, come on, you're so tired. Lie down again for a few more minutes, even for just 2 minutes. I said, listen, leave me alone. I promise I'm going to be in shul on time. And he's not leaving me alone. And I, like a good student in the yeshiva, I fought back with him. I fought back. I didn't let him push me around. And guess what? I won. So he says, so why weren't you in shul? So he says, because we just finished now fighting.
And the Rosh Yeshiva accepted that excuse.
He loved it.
It makes sense.
Were you the Rosh Yeshiva?
No. I just finished. Right? So in other words, you got to know also, like, it's not just that you take a stand, but you got to know, like, sometimes you just have to learn, like, you got to be in a certain sense, like in martial arts. There is such a thing as spiritual martial arts also. Just the other day, I was reading in the name of the Rimanover. There was a young man that in his davening, he was screaming, he was, clenching his fists and everything, and very, very intense in his davening. And then afterwards, the Rebbe said to him, it was the Rimanover. He says, I guess you were fighting against machshavot zarot. You were having strange thoughts. It happens during the prayer, like you're trying to focus on what you're praying, and all of a sudden you have a thought about this and about that and about that. So he says, yes, Rabbi, I was like really fighting it. So he says, well, then let me teach you a lesson. To fight it, you don't have to fight it like like boom, 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 like that. On the contrary, the best, he says, imagine you're praying, and all of a sudden you start seeing a horse in front of your eyes, like in your mind, right? So he says, okay, so acknowledge it. Yes, I see a horse. And then say, you know what? It's not really there. And let it go. This has come to my mind, but you know what? It's not real. In other words, instead of fighting, it says, you stupid horse, get out of my mind. Right? That way you're giving the horse more power and more reality than it actually has. Just say, oh yeah, horse, nice horse. Yeah, good. But you're not really here. Goodbye. And he says, the more you do that, the more you train yourself to realize to learn how to just pay so good. So this thought came in and that thought came in. Okay, but let it go. But if you start thinking about it, if you want to think about it, then it's no longer a strange thought, it's your thought, right? But this is the Rebbe said to Chosid, who came to complain that he's having all these strange thoughts foreign thoughts during davening. The Rebbe said to him, let's be honest, it's your thoughts, right?
Maybe they came from Hashem. Hashem gave them to me so I can use these thoughts and praise Hashem and to come close to Hashem, to cleave to Hashem.
Maybe.
But these there's something
maybe.
positive.
Maybe.
Hashem gave me so I can come closer.
Maybe. The Alter Rebbe says that, but then you have to. So then the Rebbe says that that's true for a tzaddik. But if you're not a tzaddik, and you have all of a sudden you start thinking about the stock market or about this or about that in the middle of davening, it's not somebody else's thoughts. What you need to do is you need to just sort of say, I'm sorry, I need to go back to davening. Dr. Rebbe even gives an example. Imagine you're davening and let's make the example like this. Let's say you're standing and you have an opportunity, you're standing in front of the king of the country, right? And you're there and the king is listening to you. And some peasant comes and starts bothering you while you're talking to the king. Hey, I like that shirt. Give it to me. Whatever stupid things it might be. It doesn't matter. You understand? And you're standing in front of the king. You're going to stop now. You're going to start dealing with the peasant. So he says, ignore him. And even if he screams, just ignore him. Understand? Now, if you're a tzaddik and strange thoughts come to you, then it's obviously because Hashem wants you to lift it up. But if you're not on the level of tzaddik, if I'm in the bottom of a pit, I need somebody that's outside the pit to pull me out. I can't pull myself out by myself. Understand? So I can't. If I'm having foreign thoughts or unkosher thoughts in the middle of davening and they're my thoughts, I can't pull myself out of that. The only thing I could do is I could say, excuse me, I'm busy talking to Hashem. I'm not paying attention to you. Okay? And yeah, I recognize you want me to do this now, or you want me to think about this, but you know what? I recognize that. I also recognize that I have the power to ignore you, to ignore you, not to pay attention to this.
You one time said,
I have to watch out with this guy. He remembers what I said, especially the
I can't remember my children's name in sequence.
Yeah.
But learning I do. You one time said that during that, especially during Shemona Esrei, you're able to figure out all the solutions to your problem.
Yeah. You get the best business ideas, the best ideas for things to write and things like that.
And I remember what you said at that time.
And what did I say?
You said,
I don't remember. Go on.
I mean,
Go ahead. I want to hear.
I remember that you said Because somebody asks, how do you handle that? Well, he said there are two ways to handle that. Either you can stop your davening and work on your solutions, or you can say, not now, but later, and you continue with that. That has helped me a great deal because to this day,
it happens.
to this morning too.
Of course.
This morning too.
It happens all the time. It happens all the time because whenever you're trying to do something good, the Satan tries to stop you. Right? If the Satan doesn't bother you, that means you're probably not doing anything worthwhile. So that's the way it is. That's just the reality. So the point that Reb Shlomo was making over here is like, you got to know when you know that there's something that needs to be done, don't lose the opportunity. Right? You have a mitzvah to do it now. If I say later, I'm going to have more kavanah later, I'm going to do it with more attention later. How do you know that you're going to have more good intentions later? You don't know. On the contrary, you might even have less, right? Because the real essence behind the mitzvah is to do the mitzvah because Hashem said do it, right? Okay, so good. Some things you need to prepare yourself for. So it's like, you need to maybe do some meditation beforehand. You need to do some meditation before davening. You need to sing a song or whatever it is. But like I said before, if you start doing something for the purpose of doing the mitzvahs, then you started it.
Is that the expression, Savizim Makdim Mitzvah?
Yeah.
You see that when Avram received the guests, the 3 guests after his big Milah.
That's right.
And he runs. It says over and over, and he runs to bring them the guests.
And then particularly the first test that Hashem gives him is Lecha, and the last one is the Akedah. And both of them are starting with the words Lecha. Understand? And Hashem doesn't say when. Hashem says, go to the land that I'm going to show you. So Avraham Avinu could have said, okay, let me close my bank accounts, let me sell off some of my real estate, etc., and then I'll go, right? No, Hashem said go, he goes right away. When Hashem sent him to do the Akedah, so he doesn't say, oh well, let me spend a few more months with my son. He goes to do the Akedah. Okay.
So it's not necessarily the destination of the mitzvah. It's a journey towards it.
So sometimes you have to start it, yeah. But if you can do it right away, then do it right away. But I'm saying if you can't do it right away, so you got to start it.
But you make a start.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me some. This morning during davening, I looked at the first Aliyah and decided I was going to write on the subject.
Good.
Finish the job.
Good.
I didn't know that you were.
Anyway, guys, I hope to see you, Mr. Shem, in 2 weeks. I'll be back. I'm leaving on Monday, and tomorrow. I'm going to be back in 2 weeks from tomorrow, and hopefully on Tuesday I'll be back in shape on the 20. I get back on the 21st. Hopefully on the 22nd I'll be back in shape too.
Will this class